Okay, Bren, we need to find an easier way to get milk. Biomes. The important mechanic of Rimworld, because a biome can straight up alter how you play and handle situations. After all, surviving out in a nice temperate forest isn't going to be as big or a problem as living out on the ice sheets. But guess what? We got mods for that, so listen in as we list off some pretty cool Rimworld Biomes mods that will make your next playthrough a bit more interesting. Or dangerous, or heck, both. Let's start off with something simple. The World, or the World preset. Not a new biome per se, but if you ever have aspirations of world conquest like a hyper-intelligent rodent, now's your chance. Not a fan of Earth, don't want to live on this planet anymore? Try Mars. With Terraform Mars, you get a new planet to conquer, and it's red, blue, and green. Here's hoping our Mars can look as good in the future. Do note, both of these mods use World Edit 2.0, and looking at it, I think it's a good mod for making interesting planets for Let's Plays, or hey, just playthroughs. Alright, I know why you're here. You want the new biomes to conquer. Good news, we got more vanilla biomes. Not affiliated with Vanilla Expanded, but it sure feels like it. 10 biomes come with this each feeling like something that could be in vanilla base game. The Glacial Shield biome, a place where glaciers hit the tundra. Oasis, pockets of life in a desert where a colony could thrive. Marshes that are dense with plants but low on trees, careful not to get too cold here. The Badlands are dry and desolate, hard to find life here. The Cloud Forest are forests on high mountain ranges, pretty foggy, but animals do come up from time to time. The Grasslands will have a wide open space for grazing animals. Coastal Dunes are super sandy coastal areas, great for fisher colonies. Sandbars are small islands of sand with a few good spots for solid construction and growing. Alpine Meadows are peaceful locations with cool summers and harsh winters. Finally, the Floating Icebergs are insane places to make a colony, but hey, if people can survive the harsh sea ice biome, I'm sure people can survive the ice. Rivers are pretty nice in Rimworld. They slow down enemies. If you got a fisher mod, you can get your lunch, and it can work to make some cool base designs using the natural resources. Now with epic rivers, you can have an epic base, because that makes sense, right? Rainbow's mods are ones people still play around with. Good thing we got people like Millie to keep resurrecting them, because my writer always enjoyed using his Archipelagos mod, a cool island chain that makes base construction more interesting. I can see why he liked this one. It's a cool idea to have land masses like this connected by bridges. Be fun to make a fisher outpost out of a biome like this. The Golden Forest, oh man, gold is right. Look at this one. A beautiful golden landscape complete with new animals to tame and hunt, plants to grow and use. Oh yeah, and golden ambrosia to get high off of. I love this mod's design. Obviously a take on Elden Ring's Golden Forest, but the creator killed the Rimworld design. Love mods that base their premise on other media and do a great job in blending with the Rimworld style. Keep up the good work, and everyone watching go visit the forest here after the video. Ever been to Yellowstone Park? Well, then you might have an idea of the landscape of the Primordial Geyser biome. A land of strange beauty. It has dirt infested in the geyser bacteria. No life can grow on those, but in exchange, it's a beautiful landscape for pawns to look at. Don't worry, the biome has unique plants like juniper berries and horrible animals that range from docile to tentacled horrors. Because remember, out here on the rim, the planet wants you dead, baby. All in all, a cool looking design of a biome. Might have to make a hotel here, like some kind of hot spring. With the release of Dwarf Fortress on Steam, some people have been using Rimworld to make their own dwarf playthrough. Well, why not set up your base in an underground cave biome? Naturally, you got underground caves to explore and live in. Just remember that not everything underground is friendly. But hey, if 7 doors can start at 4 to make something big, I'm sure 3 idiots from space can do something good. Just be careful of infestations, of course. Star Wars always had some pretty cool planets, so much so I'm not surprised there's a mod that makes full Star Wars planets. Go to Hoth, Kishk, Tatooine, heck, even custom biomes like Bespin or Felucia. It's definitely a lot of fun to play in a mono biome at times, especially for roleplaying. And hey, put in a couple of Star Wars mods and you'll feel right at home. Idea for a future mod list if I can pronounce the words right. Space, the final frontier, but until we go beyond the stars, let's use Rimnauts to go to the moon. Yes, the moon is its own biome with this mod. It's lifeless, cold, and thankfully no Kool-Aid man fighting the thirsties. But hey, on a moon base, you can use nearby asteroids to mine for minerals and create a safe utopia in space. Well, safe-ish. It's still the rim and can't do anything about pawn snapping. Still, it's nice to know we could get away from the raiders on the moon. Oh, well, some things never change. Alright, you know the big one, alpha biomes. Yeah, let's not waste time to go over them, because there are a lot. The Idyllic Meadows is a place of flowers, warm weather, few predators, and even fewer illnesses. The Mycotic Jungles are the lands of mushrooms, both for building materials and food. Just be careful of giant ones that leak poison. Seriously, that stuff can ruin your day. The Gelatinous Superorganism is a land of slime, technically livable since the rocks are slime and the trees are slime, and slime is edible. In this home, the tar pits actually is pretty good for resources like wood and food. The problem in the large tar pits that are hard to navigate, oh yeah, the bumble drones who may or may not be a bit aggressive if you get too close. You won't feel alone in the ocular forest. After all, everything has eyes on you. A freaky place that most colonists won't find comfort in being in. Though with ideology, some pawns could be happy with this twisted red land. Galatros Graveyard is similar to the elephant graveyards of our planet, on the level of an arid shrubland, but with more bones and more creatures that can destroy you. The mechanoid intrusion is the ancient remnants of mechanoids trying to mechanize the planet. Barely any wood or food here, though plenty of scrap metal to salvage at least. The propane lakes is heaven for Hank Hill, and those who want a nice survival with an easier difficulty, propane can be harvested for chemfuel. Icy wood is lovely, and there are snowberries that colonists like to eat. All in all, a lovely biome I might play in later. The Forsaken Crags is a dark biome, and I do mean dark. It's straight up pitch black, so you will have to use light sources more often or focus on growing the more exotic light bestowing plants. Hopefully you aren't eaten by a grue. With a name like miasmic mangroves, this tells me two things. One, it's gonna be wet, and two, it's gonna be toxic. This tropical jungle will bombard your colonists with illness not even in the base game. Hope you have a good medic on standby coming here. For the volcano lovers, the pyroclastic conflagrations will give you the hot land you want. A land of permanent heat wave animals that breathe fire, acid rain, and volcanic ash clouds will make anyone who uses wood primarily regret their choices as it all goes up in flames. Finally, the Feralist jungle. Yeah, I think even the Void faction base is less hostile than these jungles. I think this might be the planet of the Katashan jungle fighters train on, cause spiders of unusual size will hunt you, and anything else that comes in repeatedly. My advice, make a base, lock in, and take advantage of the fact they sleep at night. And yeah, that's all the biomes. All in all, great exotic biomes complete with unique stones and even machinery, plus the animals look great. The Biome series of Biomes is a great set of mods. Not only do you get some well-made biomes, but a bunch of new features. My writer's favorite, the island, has warm beaches, isolated potential future homes, and crabs. Lots of crabs. Also turtles, which are also pretty cool. With multiple different islands to choose from, you can go from tropical deserted islands to cold tundra islands with lots of whales. Then, if you want to go inland, try the Chromatic Oasis, a paradise amongst the sands with unique animals and plants. Your pawns will love this respite from the harsh desert. Just be careful of the scorpions. Finally, the prehistoric biomes, a full overhaul of the vanilla biomes and compatible with the previously mentioned Biomes mods, dinosaurs. Lots and lots of dinosaurs. Yeah, that's some good hunting out there. And with so many to find, hunt, or even tame, you can have a fun playthrough of fun rebuilding Jurassic Park, or maybe exploring the land that time forgot, or was in the land of the lost. Yeah, either way, dinosaurs make everything better, except theme parks on islands according to movies. So, what do we have next? Terror Project Core continued with 13 new biomes. Well, alright, time to list them off. But I gotta say, for a mod that was originally from Rimworld Beta 19, still holding up good after being brought back by Millie. Anyway, we have the desert high plains. While more humid than normal deserts, there is far less agreeable land to play around with. The savanna is a dry plains, but not on the level of arid shrublands, though the soil is pretty dry. The Spike Mountains is full of dense forest and rocky spires that might make construction a bit tricky without some time working the land. We've seen oases before in other mods, but hey, always nice to have a respite from the desert sands. Now the Cave Oasis is a unique underground paradise where life can thrive. Just hope it's friendly enough to let you set up shop. The Tunnel World caves are underground caverns, deep underground, great for those who don't want to go outside. Not so good if you don't like infestations like. The cave entrance is a mix of underground and outdoor area. A lot of caves in this mod, I noticed. Especially infested caverns bathed by insects. Yeah, that's pretty dangerous. Deep ravines are full of tunnels and dried up rivers, so don't expect a lot of animals and plant life. Archipelagos have been seen before, but this mod has its own take on them. Same with tundras, scaries, a type of smaller archipelago but with land masses of ice and stone. Now the atoll. Won't be atoll on pawns living here. It's an island type tropical home that has small animals living here, so it might be safe for the average colonist. Finally, the volcanic island. Thankfully, it's a dormant volcano, so expect a small coastal area before the rocks start forming. All in all, more variety to biomes is always great. Fertile Planet is a simple mod that makes it so vanilla biomes have more fertility, so that means more plants growing and more animals showing up. I recommend tribal starts for this as a real agrarian paradise. We got Kamigos, Great Swamps, which adds, well, Great Swamps, the Greater Cold Bog and the Temperate and Tropical Swamps, all characterized by wetland that's hard to build on, foggy when it isn't raining, which is 80% of the time. Oh yeah, and illness, not for the faint of heart, needless to say. Westerado was a fun mod. After all, we got cowboy action, which is awesome. Westerado also has a wilderness mod that alters biomes, making them a bit more vibrant and western-like, adding new vegetation like prickly pears and lavender, making deserts feel a tad more alive. Though if you decide to live outside of the desert, watch out for the new blizzard event and banditos, but that's normal on the Rim, so. Advanced Biomes is an awesome biome mod from old school Rimworld, but it still holds up to this very day. After all, it adds 5 good biomes with its own weather and effects. The Poison Forest has toxic spores in the air that will test your colony. Make sure to let pawns have indoors to protect their lungs after a while. The savanna is dry with low amounts of vegetation, making it the perfect open grounds for hunting, and the trees you do find are the unique boa and acacia tree. The wetlands is like the previously mentioned swamps, harsh to live in, harder to build on, but sometimes you want that challenge. The volcano provides more than enough heat for your colony, plus acts as its own nightlight. By the way, a book never written, A Room at the Volcano by Lady Ashes. Gonna fire my writer for that bad pun. Maybe send him to a wasteland, a radioactive hellscape with pools of radioactive waste and barely a tree to chop. At least there are animals, mutated ones, but hey, meat is meat out on the Rim, ain't that right? More Rim is a series of mods we have been meaning to cover on this channel, but it does come with their own biomes. First, the base mods Ashlands and Blighted Ashlands. The Ashlands are the lands covered in fertile ash from the Red Mountain explosion. Now, the ash storms might make it hard to settle, it's at least a lot easier than the Blighted Ashlands. In the Blighted Ashlands, the soil isn't as fertile. The animals are few, and some go insane by the ash storm, and sometimes you find other things hiding in the sands. Ones who are infected by the Corpus. May Azura, Boethia, or Mephala help you, Ashlander. You are gonna need it if you wish to survive the Blighted Ashlands. The Ashland swamps are similar to vanilla swamps though. Maybe not as marshy, you still need to work around the landscape, but hey, you got more Rim plants and animals to play around with, from swamp striders to filthy mud crabs. The Grazelands can be seen as a more peaceful ashlands. A bit of fertile land away from the many ash storms from the other lands. Might be a good place to retire to if you get an arrow in the knee. Now the volcanic ashlands can be seen as a harsher ashlands. I mean, yeah, got all the problems of the ashlands on top of being in a volcano. Land cut off due to lava, ash storms, oh, and even acid rain to make your pawns regret listening to your decisions. All these biomes are pretty cool, and More Rim is a cool mod set we might have to go over in a future video. Let us know if you want us to, and while you're at it, tell us your favorite Elder Scrolls race. Finally, we have the Rebirth Mods, a series of mods that work to beautify and make the vanilla biome experience better. Adding things like new trees, weather tweaks, everything and all with performance in mind, since not everyone can afford those supercomputers to play Minecraft with. Then there is the Regrowth Mod, supports the Tundra mod, adding more biome-appropriated plant life, including the lovely lupin flower. The Boreal one, adding more variety of pine trees, giving you that rustic Alaska feel for your pawns. Even the temperate biome gets some new plants to add new color to the landscape. Yes, the swamps get their own new plants, including edible mushrooms, though given they are red, I wouldn't touch them. The Aspen Forest is a new biome of aspen trees, a lovely alternative to temperate forest, and it just screams autumn wonderland to me. Finally, extinct animals, which isn't a biome mod per se, but hey, gotta add it to the list. What else? Extinct animals from the humble dodo to the mighty mammoth, you got new animals to see in the lovely biomes, plus new sources of food. Well, guess it's time for a curse mod, the Poop mod, since it includes a poop biome. This mod gives you multiple ways to use fecal matter, be it a building material, weapons to launch at enemies, and, of course, food. I mean, I have to respect this mod for giving you a lot of options for manure. Not the crappiest mod, but I admit the selling prices for Dookie is pretty crap. A pretty caca mod, all things considered, but hey, I'd rather have a scatological mod that tries to be good than a mod that only is a lame joke. So good on you, mod dev. Okay, 20 mods involving biomes. Actually was impressed that there were that many in the workshop, but hey, if you know of any more mods involving biomes, let us know. My writer and I went searching for a lot of lands, but it's possible some slipped through the cracks, and we want to know future build sites for our chinchilla farms. Well, that and better places to buy some good milk.